10 games at Anfield when they've actually been behind and won. I don't think, Alan, there's any question that the turning point was the penalty decision just before half-time. It was actually Liverpool's only shot on target for the first 45.
Yeah, West Ham were really comfortable, and I thought it was really harsh on them, to be honest. I know he makes contact, yes, but that contact clearly doesn't cause him to fall, because he then plants his foot, so falls to the floor. And it's not supposed to be if you make contact, it's whether it's a foul or not. I don't think that was enough for it to be a penalty, no.
Do you think perhaps the way the laws are and the way decisions are given for minimal contact, there was contact, but encourage players perhaps to dive back?
Yeah, they do. I mean, any fan, player or manager is going to feel aggrieved if that penalty is given against you, irrelevant of who you support. And I think that the problem we've got, which we've always had, is that players don't get penalties if they don't go down.
Yeah.
And we're seeing too often players doing what Salah did there, and nobody wants to see it.
No, I agree. The impact of the substitutes was very important. Again, Shaqiri and Jota for the second Saturday running scoring the winning goal.
Yeah, that was without doubt. It was the very, very good substitutions. Jota and Shaqiri, as I said, West Ham I thought were comfortable, played well, and were a bit of a threat going forward also. Looked tight, but once these two came on, then it was a different matter. They added a bit of guile and craft and pace going forward, particularly from that guy there, Jota. And it was different Liverpool when those two come on.
I think that was the right decision.
Yeah, I do. I think that was the right decision. Brilliant to get there in the first place, Jota. But yeah, he just fouls him, I think, and it was he sticks it away. But I do think that was the correct decision. But this for this goal is just magnificent from Shaqiri. The way to pass, the vision, the technique to stick it through his legs there, and that's a superb finish.
Jota's giving Jurgen Klopp a problem.
Nice.
You know, that wonderful front three hasn't been put under pressure for a long time, and he's scoring goals, he's making an impact. He's saying, "Don't leave me out."
It's been a wonderful sign.
Yeah,
very good sign.
There was question marks with the amount of money.
Nathaniel Phillips, local stories, come back, played his Premier League debut. He played once, didn't he, against Everton in the Cup last season. He's been on loan in Germany, and he actually was down to go to university at some point in America, but he's come back and he's stuck at it, and here we go.
Well, there was a lot of talk, wasn't there, this week? We're brilliant ahead of that. There's a lot of talk this week about who's going to come in and play, and he got the nod, and he eased his way in. Played. See, look at that for a pass. That was midway into the first half where he gained some confidence, but he played really simply. He did the right things when he had the ball, but when he's in the box, he's a real presence. He won more aerial duels than anyone else today. He grew into the game. His commitment was there for all to see. You can see this by him trying to get back in. He just gets a little touch on the edge of the box. And I know that feeling. First Premier League game at Anfield. Probably dreamt about it many, many times.
There's no one there to watch it.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. But he'll be buzzing tonight. He won't be able to sleep. He put in a really, really good performance. And look at that header in the last minute. Commanding header, taking leadership really there at the back in the last minute, and the hug from his manager, well done, and he can feel very proud of his performance.
A word on West Ham, because they deserve it this season. They're a different proposition this season, aren't they?
Well, when you look at the West Ham that played Newcastle first game of the season, I would worry for them after that, and then after that they've showed great character, stuck together, got a system that seems to suit the players, and even without one of their best players today, Antonio, I still thought they were a bit of a threat going forward.
Okay, good. Next, it's Burnley versus a Chelsea side still finding their feet after an influx of summer signings. The home team remained in the bottom three following Monday's defeat to Spurs.
Tottenham are joint top scorers in the Premier League with Liverpool with 15 goals. Burnley have managed only 1 goal from open play so far this season. Jose Mourinho looks thoroughly fed up on the far side with his arms folded. Corner kick by Westwood, and the crossbar is headed off the line.
It's going in, all but for Harry Kane.
Corner kick, the head's going, but it's there. Jung-Min Son has scored it. These two link up for the 9th time in the Premier League this season. Tottenham Hotspur have done just enough, and that leaves firmly rooted into the bottom three, 1 point from 5 games.
Commentary at Turf Moor comes from Simon Brotherton.
Sean Dyche celebrated 8 years in charge of Burnley yesterday, but he'll have a happier weekend if his side can finally secure their first win of the season. If they do, it'll be their first at home to Chelsea for 37 years. Burnley are still looking for their first win of the new season and bring recent signing Dale Stephens into midfield with Johan Berg Gudmundsson injured. Hakim Ziyech scored his first goal for Chelsea in the Champions League on Wednesday and today makes his first start in the Premier League. Timo Werner was originally named among the substitutes for the first time this season, but Christian Pulisic is a last-minute withdrawal, so Werner now plays. Ziyech now collecting for Chelsea, not for long. Brownhill with the interception. Worked out wide to Lowton. That's a beautifully flighted ball from Matt Lowton into Ashley Barnes. As Mendy came out and made the challenge on the Burnley forward. Anxious moment for Chelsea. Burnley's first threatening attack of the afternoon, and what a pass that was, collected by Ashley Barnes. Ashley Barnes still looking for his first goal of the season. Scored half a dozen in the Premier League in the last campaign. Away towards McNeil on the far side. Chelsea still dominating possession as James now into the penalty area. Decent looking ball. And in the end, Ben Chilwell ended up in the back of the net and claims that he was pushed there. Mason Mount still in possession. Conte back with Thiago Silva now. Chelsea spending a lot of time in Burnley's half of the field, and Pope there just pushing that one from Tammy Abraham. But Ben Chilwell got himself right underneath the crossbar for a delivery and felt that he was nudged into the back of the net by Josh Brownhill. No penalty kick, they did have a little review of it at the time. Now forward into Tammy Abraham, it was beautifully weighted, but Tammy Abraham was rapidly surrounded. Burnley's defence getting away, but for how long? Ziyech once more, into Timo Werner, back with Abraham looking to set up Ziyech! 1-0 Chelsea, and Hakim Ziyech celebrates his first start in the Premier League by scoring his first goal in the Premier League as well. 2 goals in a few days for the Moroccan international, who was on target at Krasnodar in the Champions League as well the other night. Werner pulling the ball back, Abraham with the layoff, and Hakim Ziyech just guiding the ball home, and Chelsea take the lead at Turf Moor. Burnley behind once again. Chelsea controlling the ball at the moment and much of the play in general in this opening half. Mount, just the 1 goal to show for it. Burnley very much still in this one. Werner wants the ball from James, he's going to get it, is he? Oh, it was a vital touch there from Kevin Long. Well, Timo Werner was in a great position here, and as the ball was sent his way from Reece James, I think his eyes were lighting up at the prospect, but it was an important touch from Kevin Long to just take it off his toe. There was a bit of a premium for Burnley in the opening weeks of the new season, just 1 goal from open play so far in their opening 5.5 games. They could do with changing that statistic. Taylor's done well. Nobody there in claret and blue, and Werner combining with Havertz. But he hasn't got rid of the ball. It's back with Barnes. It goes from range, and that had Mendy scrambling. That's a bit better from Burnley as they try to draw level. And just wide of the post. Just over an hour into the match at Turf Moor. Chelsea still leading thanks to a goal from Hakim Ziyech in the first half. Can they give themselves a little bit more elbow room with a second? Not at the moment, but it's going to break here for Ziyech. He's away from Taylor, as you know. Charlie Taylor did just enough there. And what an important challenge it was as well from Burnley's point of view, with Hakim Ziyech almost free inside the box. He just got a toe on it. Mason Mount with the corner, headed into the back of the net by Katsuma. 2-0. Just at a time when Burnley was starting to ask some questions of Frank Lampard's team. They've given themselves a little bit of elbow room now with that second goal. And it is a powerful header from Katsuma for his 3rd goal of the season. He was on target in wins wins over Brighton and Crystal Palace, and he scores again at Turf Moor. And Burnley have got it all to do. That's relieved the pressure a little bit from Chelsea's point of view. It's been much better from Burnley since half-time. Rather deflating for them to concede a second goal. Westwood. Cut out by Reece James. Not a good crossfield pass. Here's Hakim Ziyech into Timo Werner. Great chance for 3, and that's exactly what it is. If you make a mistake against players like this, 9 times out of 10 you'll pay for it, and that's exactly what's just happened. Werner's first clear chance of the match, and guess what? The ball's in the back of the net. Burnley in trouble from the moment the ball was given away. Look at the space there for Ziyech, and watch the run from Timo Werner, clearly played onside, and as usual, a fine finish, this time to make it 3-0. Ziyech and Werner combining, and there was nothing Nick Pope could do about it. So 3-0 Chelsea. Chelsea having scored 4 goals in each of their 2 previous visits here before this afternoon, have time to incur further misery on Burnley. Here comes Ben Chilwell. Chelsea knocking on the door for a 4th, and the flag has gone up and Giroud has been denied. Well, he's only been on the pitch for a couple of minutes, and he was close to scoring Chelsea's 4th there. He won his 100th international cap in recent weeks, as he just moves into an offside position here before wrong-footing Nick Pope. So it stays at 3-0. Still looking for that first goal here this season. Brady collects, Thiago Silva's in, and Luton! Best effort for a while from the home side. And Matt Luton, who's only ever scored 1 goal for the club, had a crack here. It's finished, Burnley 0, Chelsea 3.
You know, there is a gap in the division, we know that. We've been in this division a few years, we understand that. Not remotely do we not go into this game swing, because of course we do. Sometimes you've got to take on a day like today when you're not quite there and they are, you get punished. Sometimes you've got to take that and you just think, right, okay, that's not actually the division we're working in, we've got to get points from other games.
It looks as if it's really starting to come together. Is that what it feels like to you?
Yeah, definitely. It was always going to take some time for us to all click as a team, but definitely today it felt like we was moving with each other. We know where each other wanted to go, and it kind of clicked today. So it's exciting stuff when we're playing like that and winning and scoring goals. Now we need to focus on keeping that going and look at the next game on.
And make no mistake, I'm not naive in my words. You know, we have to show from performances that we can win games, but then you have to do it. You know, you have to win a game, and sometimes you take a scruffy, ugly one, and that can get you on a different feel going forwards. Every game's an important game in the Premier League, and the next one will certainly be that.
And afterwards, I spoke to the Chelsea head coach, Frank Lampard. Thanks for joining us, Frank. You must be delighted with that display. You played some excellent football.
Yeah, really pleased, really pleased. It was been a long week for us, a lot of travelling. And when we came back from Russia, it was so important to get the preparation right. And obviously, when you come to Burnley, you know what's coming. A very effective team, make it very difficult for you. I thought we took the game from the early minutes. I think the way we defended, we didn't really allow them the opportunities to get in and around that box and work the way they want to work. And then on the ball, I was really impressed. I think the performance was full of quality and passing angles, and definitely a progression in terms of our performance. There's lots of nice things to see.
Also, the first time, of course, that all 6 of your new summer signings started the game. I know one of that reason for that was Pulisic getting injured just before kick-off, but they seem to have settled in pretty quickly, Frank.
I feel like I keep saying the same thing, Gary, but we did miss the pre-season with the new players and some being injured. I don't think we should have. I certainly was aware that we can't just throw that up in the air and it's going to land perfectly. We have to work on that one, and we've been working in real time in games, and we probably dropped a couple of points where we were in that little process. And I understand the level, the rise in expectation. I'm completely with that, because we've brought in good players, but I was very aware again of the fact that you want to build relationships around the team. And some of the players are on the younger side that come from different leagues, and they need to settle off the pitch, they need to settle on the pitch, they need to feel their new teammates, the group needs to take them in. And I thought we saw a lot of that today in terms of performance. I think when you look at the performance of Kai Havertz, who a lot of people want to talk about because of the level of move that he's been to the club, But him and Mason Mount in midfield today were fantastic, and I think Kai's showing signs of his game as a number 8 today, that he wants to play with humility and give the team the work ethic as well as some great talent, which is only going to get better. Gave some really good signs for him personally.
Interesting as well, your slight shift in tactics. You played sort of Kante as the sole holding player today. You felt that worked out right?
Well, it worked today, I think, because of the individual performances in there and the balance of the team looked really good. It's one of those things at the start of the season where, you know, some of the newer players are versatile. So we've been searching for the right formation at times, and the tweak of it, which we started in midweek in Russia and today, was something that I felt could give us a real positive uplift in terms of our work off the ball and our position to win the ball back higher up the pitch. And our angles to play through the lines and get our fullbacks higher up the pitch as well. And those things came off today, so we need to keep working on that and be ready to be slightly versatile when we need to be.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing before we let you go, Frank. If you keep playing like that, you will be treated like all the other top 6 managers.
Yeah, you know what, Gary? I think those quotes were slightly taken out of context. I think that I wasn't playing that. I'm an Englishman and I get a lot of sick card. I was actually talking about probably my circumstances of how I got into this job, but you know, I have to put that to the side. We have to keep working in. I know the rules. If we win, if we do well, then I get credit. If we don't, as in all managers do in the Premier League, you probably get told why.
Absolutely, it was a terrific performance today. Well played, and thanks for talking to us.
Cheers, Gary. Nice speaking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant display from Chelsea. Played some wonderful football. I think all 6 new signings, as we said there, did well. But it's Mason Mount who put out the impressed too much.
Well, it was, and he's growing all the time in confidence. And I think you talked in the interview there about the system. He's brilliant for me in the centre of the pitch. Now they played Kante holding, Havertz and Mount ahead. A bit like City used to do when, you know, they had that Silva and De Bruyne ahead of Fernandinho. And look at the numbers for Mason Mount today. We've talked about his energy before, his tenacity, you know, all those aspects. But the creativity of him, I think, gets a little bit underplayed at times. This is what I want to see from him in that position, all over the pitch, getting on the ball, driving forward, bringing other players into play. And there was a lot of good performances today from Chelsea, as we talked. It was a very, very good display from all. But he was the main one in the first half. Look at that for a little pass with his left foot to Abraham, nearly gets him in. He was the one who was brave, trying to make things happen, trying to penetrate. That's the type of pass they want to see him playing more of. And I think if he carries on progressing the way he is and playing like this, I think Gareth Southgate will have him in his first 11 playing in one of his more central roles, because he can dictate the game more. Variation in his passing, you want to see that from any midfielder. And I haven't put in here some of the work he does going back. He gets in these positions great as well. He's more than capable of scoring from outside the box. He's good on set plays. Look at that for a ball in for Zuma. Great pace on the ball, that. And with the people he's got around him, the players,
I love that.
That's phenomenal bit of skill. But that's the mentality of him. He's around superstars, and he's still taking responsibility of getting the ball, saying, "I'll take the free kick. Give me the ball. I'll make some of that."
Yeah, absolutely. First Premier League start of Hakim Ziyech.
Yeah.
Did well.
Oh, he did exceptionally well. Yeah, he's had struggled with injuries to get into the team. Scored in midweek in the Champions League, which would have given him great confidence. But I have to disagree with Danny. I thought he was the best player for Chelsea today. He was creating, he was scoring, and he was just a constant threat all afternoon. Give, go, and the finish there. He just sends hope the wrong way. Had to do his little bit defensively also, and did that very well. Given a little bit of freedom, if he wants to go and have a roam, then he can do that, because Kante is in there if he did lose that ball. And as I said, he was just a constant, full of confidence. What about this for a pass to give the go again, and the little dink in behind there to Werner, and that is such a clever ball, a better touch than it should be in the back of the net. He finds himself in the middle there, punished Burnley for poor play. He set Werner up before, he didn't take his chance, and he does on this one. Spoke about Shaqiri's weighted pass a couple of minutes earlier in the Liverpool game, and that was just as good. And the touch and the finish from Werner also, so very, very good Chelsea, particularly going forward.
To mention Thiago Silva as well, talk about great performances up against Wood and Barnes today.
Yeah.
I mean,
he made it look easy, didn't he, that performance?
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Really did. Burnley's worst ever start to a league season. Club's in a bit of turmoil as well behind the scenes.
It is worrying. They didn't do anything in the market to create competition for places. They didn't look themselves, but I'm still not worried about them. I believe Sean Dyche has still got enough.
I wouldn't panic yet with him in charge, Sean Dyche. Been there before. Yeah, I think they'll be all right.
Okay. Sheffield United faced Manchester City after disappointing starts to the season for both clubs. Not since